Welcome friends, welcome back to Sunday morning in the Old Cookbook Show. Today I want to do a recipe out of the new magic in the kitchen. 208 delicious dishes made with sweetened condensed milk. Now this is an undated cookbook from Borden or Eagle brand condensed milk, and it's undated, but generally most people say that this is from 1930. And it has a recipe for magic lemon cream pie in it. And I want to do this recipe because I also have an earlier version of this cookbook that has a lemon pie recipe in it. And you can see between the two cookbooks the evolution of the recipe, how the recipe changed and moved forward. And the earlier cookbook is generally accepted to be 1928 or 1929, again undated. So I've done my best to sort of grab those dates. I've spoken to people who research these things, and even they are a little doubtful of the exact dates, so I always got a date range. And I find this magic lemon pie recipe very interesting because from this point forward, you start to see lemon pies made this way with regional variations as to how the meringue was put on top, if the meringue was put on top, if the meringue was folded in. And you start to see all of these variations. And we've done one of these pies before on the channel. About 5 years ago, 2015, I did a variation of this pie. And it's one that my mom always made. And so presumably she got the recipe from numerous cookbooks that copied this recipe over and over and over and over and over, using whichever brand of condensed milk the recipe writer for that cookbook wanted to use. It is a very versatile recipe. The other reason I want to do this recipe is most food historians cite this recipe as the starting point for the Florida key lime pie. I know, I can hear you screaming. I hear you screaming that the key lime pie came out way before this ever did, and that, but evidence, facts, published recipes don't seem to support that. It seems that this is the starting point. So I need about a half a cup of juice. So that was 2.5 lemons worth of juice to get a half a cup, depending on how much you want to squeeze. So I'm going to do a key lime pie in an episode coming up soon. And when I do the key lime pie recipe, I'll go farther in depth into why people think that this is the starting point for the key lime pie. Generally, though, food historians outside of Florida believe this to be the case, whereas those inside Florida would beg to differ. Okay, this calls for 2 eggs separated. So we'll put the whites in this bowl, and we're going to whip those into a meringue. And the yolks go in over here. Okay, now that the yolks are in, I'm going to pour in the lemon juice, and we're going to whisk this. And the lemon juice, the acid from the lemon juice, is going to start to curdle and thicken both the egg and the cream, which is what gives this pie its distinctive texture. Okay, so we're looking good. Now, I need to whip these egg whites into a meringue. So first off, I'm going to whip them part way, and then I'm going to spoon in some sugar and whip them the rest of the way. Okay, I'm going to start adding sugar now. And I like to use a superfine sugar, and I put in a little bit, whip it a little bit more, and then maybe put in a little bit more after that. Okay, we're looking pretty good. Now there's not going to be a lot of meringue. I mean, it's only 2 eggs, which isn't going to provide much of a topping. But it's still going to taste great. Still going to taste amazing. Now, it says to fill a baked pie shell. It doesn't say what kind of pie shell. I'm pretty sure that what they mean is a short crust or a regular pastry pie shell. I don't really like that with this pie. I am partial to either saltine crackers or soda biscuits. I really like a soda biscuit crust. I like Maria biscuit crust or arrowroot biscuits. I think those are amazing. And today I decided to use graham crackers because I really like that as a crust for this pie as well. And this is a 9-inch pie shell. took me a lot of digging down in the equipment room to find a smaller pie shell. Today, all of my pie plates are 9.5 inches or 24 centimeters, and they're really deep. Took me a while to find one that was smaller and shallower to fit this pie. And on goes the meringue. Now this goes into a preheated 350-degree oven for an unspecified amount of time until brown. Essentially, the filling doesn't need to be cooked. It will firm up all on its own, especially since we're going to put this in the fridge later before we serve it. You're pretty much just cooking the meringue and getting a nice sort of brownish crust on it. So into the oven it goes.
Ready? Ready.
It's time to cut the pie.
No, the anticipation.
I know. So it's I mean, there's not a lot of meringue on the top of it.
That's okay.
It is definitely a little bit conservative with the eggs. I know the lemon pie that my mom makes that was essentially the same.
But she liked it.
Well, yeah, and it used 4 eggs. So 2 yolks in the filling, and then 4 yolks in the filling, and then 4 whites to make the. Because everybody loves a tall meringue.
It does. It does. I mean, in the modern sense of things,
It looks impressive, and all the rest. Yeah.
Now, I will fully admit that since I was a child, lemon meringue pie has been my choice of birthday.
It's your birthday pie.
Pie and birthday meal. So I'm super excited about the lemony treat.
I'm pretty sure this is.
I'm like, okay, but can I try it now? Can I try it?
I'm pretty sure that I'm going to know what this tastes like because it's a pie that my mom used to make, and it's elsewhere on the channel called Island Lemon Pie from 2015.
It's all lemony.
Mm-hmm.
And smooth.
And I make it for family gatherings, and some people like it more than a lemon meringue pie.
I'm happy with meringue. I'm happy with the lemon.
Yeah.
I just really like the lemon, sweet.
Yeah. I mean,
all of it. All of it.
The flavor is incredible on this, and it's so easy to make. And if you're, nothing wrong with this, my mom did it all the time too, make a lemon meringue pie out of the box where you just pour the hot water in. This is as simple or simpler with maybe a little better flavor.
That's a pretty good. I mean, it's for as far as
Yeah.
pies go that come from a box. That's one of my favorites.
Well, because when you look at the 2 recipes, this one from the 2829 and this one from 1930, the earlier recipe you cooked the filling.
Okay, but that's what they changed, or was there something else?
I think they realized that if you upped the acid level, so more lemon juice, there's twice as much lemon juice in this pie as in the earlier pie. With that added acid, it congealed everything or curdled everything.
It's interesting because then I asked the question: I wonder if it became easier to get hold of lemons depending upon where they were located?
We're also talking about a time period here where there was a complete shift in what people grew.
Yeah.
In the mid 1920s, there were a couple of hurricanes that went through and cleared out a lot of groves, and when they replanted with newer varieties.
More modern species.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that might have been a change as well.
And that whole citrus thing might be our bias, being that we're located a little farther north. Where they don't grow at all.
Yeah.
At all. Unless without great care and you bring them in and you have a tropical house in the winter, you don't. So we have a bias that says there's very special.
So this is a winner. And I'm sure that you have seen this in countless cookbooks and magazines and websites, and because this recipe went on to be huge.
In the end, make the one that makes you happy.
Well, that's it. So you can, instead of putting the meringue on top, you can whip up the meringue and fold it in to the filling, and then put it in the oven. And that gives you
a really super big and fluffy.
Yeah, big and fluffy, and it's got a creamier texture. I really like that version as well. Yeah. So, thanks for stopping by. We'll see you again soon, and you'll see these books again as I talk about key lime pie in the future.
Well, for now, tea.
Yes, let's go.